Hi, everybody. Welcome to City Girls Pod. And this is a show where we dive into all things Sex in the City, including and just like that. And we have some thoughts on the latest two season three, episodes 4 and 5. And I was thinking about it, and you know, that that it seemed like such a great idea when I first said, well, let's cover the Sex and the City spinoff. Little did I know that I would be subjecting myself for 3 years.
You had no idea what you were getting us into.
I mean, I don't regret it because we have had so much fun
It's made
covering
our friendship stronger.
yeah,
It's made it
it
closer.
has.
We've been through something together.
We have.
I do.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not the only person saying this, Rachel. And before we dive in, I'm going to pose this to you and tell me what you think.
Yes.
Is it possible that the writers are brilliantly trolling us and this is like a parody that they're having fun with?
I'm I'm beginning to think like I'm
Truly.
beginning to wonder, especially this season, like
Yeah.
they are they in on the joke? Because now it's become like TikTok has gone insane with just like that coverage. Like it's so hilarious. Like who knew? This was the camp fest that we all
Yes. And you know what? Think about what Sex in the City was and still continues to be to our culture and the way people talked about it. And we are, and not just us, everyone is talking about it just like that.
yeah. I mean, it is true. But like on the same breath, it kind of makes it sad for all of us. Like, I mean, I guess it shows the like resiliency of the human spirit that we can make the situation. But like, what?
I I love it shows the resiliency of the human spirit. That is so I think that is how we're all feeling right now.
But we need. I mean, I am a proud film and television in this case critic. We need to talk about the fact that how in the world does season 3 of this show have a not just a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh, certified fresh.
So I didn't know that.
I mean, the
And that's
trolling
fine.
is getting deep here at this point. Like, if we're like, what?
Rachel, I feel like we may be hopefully one of the first people to get the genius of it. That this is a parody and it is freaking brilliant. Like, honestly, the second episode that we're going to dive into today, that's when it all started coming together for me. Like, I started looking at the style of acting, the writing, the costumes, like it all. And actually, no, it's these two episodes. It started the Che of it all. I thought they were really trying to be genuine with that. But now looking back over the entire canon event just like that, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I don't know. I believe it at this point. Like, uh, it's it's mind boggling. It's mind boggling. And I watched it and just thinking, we'll talk about it more, but just thinking like, did Cynthia Nixon lose a bet? Like, what is happening
She
here?
definitely lost a bet.
Like it is insane. It's just crazy.
I don't
Oh
know.
my
Isn't she
gosh.
a producer on this? Is she? Maybe, or at least she's best friends with SJP. But girl,
Like, what else could they do to humiliate her in the character? Nothing.
we're there. Like we're
Yeah,
there.
we're there.
We're
we're
there.
we bought them. I mean, I guess at least you got to give the writers of just like that have united the world.
They
Because
have, honestly,
this divisive age, we have all gathered together.
honestly, it's what we need right now.
Yeah, it really is.
It is the show on they are brilliant. This is, you know what, Rachel, this is bigger than entertainment.
Yeah,
They
so
really are. And they've managed to do what no politician, no
no.
thought leader, no religious leader has been able
Yeah.
to do. And just
Yeah.
like that writing staff, they've been able to do it.
Heroes.
You're honestly the
Um,
need.
so I had before we dive into the episodes, which oh my gosh, we have to talk about this article that it really did make me about die laughing because it was so hilarious. So, and just like that, costume designer is annoyed that fans hated Carrie's ginormous hat.
What did you think was going to happen?
So Molly Rogers is the costume designer, and that she says that even though the moment left Carrie being derided as someone dressed as children's character Strawberry Shortcake,
Yes.
um, that says that do you want Carrie to walk through the park with Seema with the straw hat from LL Bean? Like, first of all, when did LL Bean become like the ultimate of like bad fashion?
Right. Also,
You know,
LLB.
like
That shows where they're at, though. Like they're at like
yeah, like
couture or whatever.
that's like the low point. I mean,
Right. Right. LLB.
yeah, right. And and the the thing is that like it looked like a arts. I was saying to my friend, I'm like, yeah, people don't always like my arts and crafts projects too. I'm sorry, Mrs. Rogers, that people didn't like your. It didn't even look finished. It looked like it was made by kindergartners.
Yeah. And that's honestly disparaging kindergartners. They could
Yeah, it really is.
I don't understand. Again, I thought they were
I'm
trolling and
so-
still think they might be.
Like at least the straw hat from L. Bean, which Carrie could totally rock and it would be amazing. The straw hat would look finished. It would look like a finished piece of clothing.
Also, here's the thing about LL Bean. Like, I think LL Bean is like expensive and nice, right? But if
Yeah.
you're thinking for someone who dresses in super high fashion and you're thinking like that's low, what is in right now is high low. You wear like
Yeah,
super
you're right.
fancy
Yeah,
designers and
that's
then
true.
something like Gap or off the rack. Like, they're actually that's cool.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know what Molly is talking about.
yeah. It's Emily, like what on earth? Why would they decide to make Carrie a bag woman? Like, like I just don't understand. Like it's not flattering, it's not
Mhm.
fun, it's not because like yeah, she wore some like ridiculous clothing in Sex and the City, but it was all like stuff that was at least flattering to her for the I can't think of anything where I was like, that looks ugly.
You're exactly right. Like, here's the thing. Watching Sex and the City, we would see Carrie like flouncing around in like a ballerina skirt that was see-through or something like
Yeah,
that.
like a tutu or something.
Like a
Yeah.
tutu. And can you say, oh, that's ridiculous to wear in New York or a girl wouldn't wear that? I mean, you can say that, sure. But at the end of the day, Rachel, you're exactly right. She looked good. It was flattering and it was whimsical and fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she uses it. We always put the weird stuff out, not knowing what the actors will gravitate towards, like the pigeon purse, a pigeon clutch that Bradshaw carried in season 2 also attracted attention. And it's like, well, the pigeon purse, that's like kind of whimsical and it's like a small it's like a pop, to the outfit.
It feels
It's not
very
like
New
a
York too.
giant it's not a giant kindergartner hat.
Right. Right. And the pigeon also, pigeons are very New York City. It feels very iconic New
Yeah.
York.
Well, the other hilarious thing is that she totally throws Sarah Jessica Parker under the bus. So we have to somewhat blame SJP on this. She says that she grabbed it. It was on a table and she grabbed it. She just went to the table and looked in the mirror and was like, I love it. We have to do it.
This
I'm
is
sorry. You're the costume designer of a show. Like I get it, SGP, all hail. But like at the end of the day, like you're the costume designer. You chose it as one of her options.
it was an
And
option. You put that in front of
yeah,
her. Also, are we thinking this is a bit of the problem? Like absolute power corrupts absolutely. SJP is just allowed to do whatever she wants. And like, look, we desperately want her on the show. So like, no tea, no shade. But like, Rachel, I want you to check me as one of my closest friends. If I start doing
Yeah,
things like that, can you check me,
I will.
please?
Yeah. If well, and if we, I mean, all I wear is t-shirts and pants, so you have no need for an intervention. But like, but I would expect the same from you. If
If
I,
I see you in a hat
yeah,
like that, I
yeah,
will check you.
yeah, absolutely. If a fashion intervention, maybe that's what we need. Maybe it's SJP.
Someone sit down with
We're,
her.
be like, hey, Sarah, we're friends. We've known each other
Yeah,
all these
yeah,
years.
we know her. We have her best interest at heart,
Yeah,
that's for
that's
sure.
right. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, let's talk about these episodes. Oh my gosh. Wow. Because I mean, so we said that episodes 2 and 3 were like fine.
Yeah,
We're like, we were fine with them. These episodes are so terrible. I hated it so much. It's just like, what is going on? Like you do kind of wonder at a certain point. Like it's like the producers, but a television show. You know, like
yeah.
it really like
And-
is this a money laundering scheme?
Wait,
And
actually,
just like that,
because Rachel, think about it. Sarah Jessica Parker is married to Matthew Broderick, who's starting the producers. Like I'm saying, there's the connection. This is what's happening.
yeah.
After these two, I cannot believe.
Yeah. It's so apples to apples. Aiden's two oldest sons are happy to see Carrie, but Wyatt is sullen. Lisa worries that hiring a male editor for her female-focused documentary was an inappropriate choice. And at the end of the day, this is directed and written by Michael Patrick King. You got to hold his feet to the flame. I mean, he's the one that's putting this out there as entertainment. He's the one doing this for his characters. And both of these episodes also really screamed this was written by a dude.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Like
100%.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Anyway, so yeah, so she's down there in Virginia and there's absolutely nothing that feels believable or real or anything about this Aiden relationship is just so bad. It's so phony. It doesn't feel like either of the characters that we know and love. But even setting that aside,
Yeah.
it doesn't just feel sensible that two human beings would behave this way, that they would agree to this relationship. And Carrie Bradshaw, of all people, the woman who literally wrote books on dating, that she would agree to this. It's ridiculous.
And you do start to wonder if it's a thing where, okay, if we're taking the show seriously, which I don't know how we could, if it is this like coping thing after big to go back to something that feels familiar or feels safe, but it still doesn't make any sense. And we need to talk about Wyatt. This is not, his behavior is not okay. Like I'm worried about his mental health. Like it's not like just I know we both don't like the petulant teen trope of it all, but
Yeah.
there's so much more there. Like he needs help.
Well, also, like, it does not help anybody for the behavior to then be enabled by the adults in the situation, to be coddled, to be like, I get it. It's really hard when you're dealing with somebody with addiction because it is inherently narcissistic.
Yes.
Addiction just is. And so like they are going, even when they're trying to recovery, it's I think it would be very difficult to walk that line between enabling and being empathetic and finding
Yeah.
that, that balance. Be very difficult. But like at a certain point, like you have to keep living your life. Like you cannot let anybody, even your child,
Yeah.
dictate like this your choices. Like you have to live, like, and and the fact that they would let this teenager control their lives, and he knows that he is, and he
Mhm.
it's just it's a bad cycle. I mean,
It's a really bad cycle. He's mean and he's have empathy for this
yeah,
addiction. Okay, let's talk about the addiction.
yeah.
What's going on? Like he
It's
was,
confusing to me because but we find out that I guess that Kathy, right, is the ex.
yeah, who I love
So
actually.
so Kathy is fine about the Adderall, but we find out that Aiden was not fine with it. And so, I mean, again, like you're talking about that. I mean, I guess it makes sense why, because I was saying like Aiden lived in New York for all those years. Why didn't they ask somebody else? Why ask a childless woman, Sarah
Yeah.
Jessica? I mean, why ask Carrie for help with the Adderall? But I guess it makes sense since he's against it. He's
Yeah.
against, and the reason why is because he is an addictive personality, giving Adderall. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I do not, I just don't believe for a second that Kathy would involve Aiden's girlfriend if he's against it, and that it just the whole plot. It's just
Also, a text, a text to your
yeah,
partner to be like, um, LOL, Kathy asked me to bring the Adderall and I found it.
yeah, absolutely. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't
No.
make any sense. And like it's also like it shouldn't really be up to the parents to make this decision. Like obviously they get final approval, but like it should also be up to like medical professionals who know these drugs, who know, like, is he never going to take like Tylenol? Is he never going to, like, where do you draw
Right.
the line of like, okay, what is, you know, I don't know, like at a certain point you have to rely on the counsel of your medical professionals in your life. Like,
Yeah. And like, look, I know, I think it's like with the Adderall, yes, I understand the addictive personality, but it sounds like he really needs the Adderall to function properly.
mhm.
And some
Yeah.
people do, like, and you have to
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah. And also, like, if it's something that is triggering for his addictions, you could limit his potential exposure to those addictions. So,
Exactly.
like, if this is something that could trigger, then just make sure that he would have no way of getting any of those other drugs.
Which we know they are making sure he can because Aiden is sharing a bed with him sometimes.
Well, they live in like the middle of nowhere, evidently, Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, what
Incredibly
is
close.
this? Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Maryland. I have no idea where this is. Like,
Right.
if they'd done West Virginia, I would have believed it more than
Same.
this. Like,
Same.
there are
Wild and wonderful West.
obviously small towns and rural areas in Virginia, but I don't know. I mean, they were acting like this. What?
It was wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah. But oh gosh, where do I even start? So we have Carrie. She goes to she takes the ATV into town to
Naturally.
yeah, to shop because she doesn't have any clothes. And again, like I don't even know why you wouldn't just like if you're on such good terms with Kathy, you just be like, "Hey, can I borrow a dress?" Like
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, and so she goes to the store, and I'm sorry, that store slapped. Like
Yes!
she was like, this is Sister Wife's classics. And I'm like, you have been dressing like a crazy bag lady for 3 seasons, and you're gonna tell me that this like the stores is
Also, like, let's be real. It was bright, it was airy, it was cute.
yeah.
Like, if there's like a sort of Little House on the Prairie vibe that's kind of like in again, like
Yeah.
I was really surprised. It looked like a fun boutique.
It did. And I was just like, how dare you?
How dare you?
I mean, I was like, I said, is this killing it? It's not that different than what Carrie's wearing all season. Like, what?
It's better.
Yeah. Like,
It fits her well too.
yeah. I mean, she was acting like this was like Amish fashion or something. Like, what?
Like, Carrie, get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Okay, so then she goes fishing with the boys, and Wyatt says that I want to go do this zombie VR thing. And Carrie's like, yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. You know, she's up for it. Nathan's like, I don't know. But she's like, absolutely. He like expressed some interest in which yeah, that's exactly like I was talking about this with somebody the other day that like when I was in my 20s, I would have been like because it's not like I love bowling, but like it's not like my favorite thing to do. And I think in my 20s, I would have been like in my 20s, I would have been like, oh, I don't want to go bowling. Whereas like now I'm like, sure, let's go. Get out of the house. Who cares?
Totally. Sounds great. Let's
Like,
bowl.
as long as it's not going to be super expensive and
Mhm.
it's not going to cause me like pain. Like I wouldn't go like skiing, for instance, for me, because I know
right.
that I'll be like in major pain for, for a long time.
And it's dangerous for me.
Dangerous and expensive. Skiing is really expensive. So like that I wouldn't just be like, nah, sure, let's go for it. But as long as it's like pain-free and cheap to me, sure, let's go. Let's do it.
Sure. Do it.
Yeah.
Although, look, we don't have any clothing stores around that aren't that boutique, but we have the zombie.
Yeah,
Like-
you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. That's a good
Sure.
point. So then we also have this whole plot where Miranda asks Liz to dinner, and it's like a little bit awkward. And then Miranda's on the news, and she says she has a faux pas, she says, and I can't say it because it'll get triggered on YouTube, but she says instead of countryside, she says side, and this is like supposedly turning into this giant meme. Like everybody is like all over it, hilarious. I do not buy that for half a second,
No.
but whatever. Let's just say that it is. I think that Miranda would just, I don't know, just be kind of like, it's like what Brady says, like just do something, no big deal.
Totally. Like for some reason this did make me laugh. I think because these viral videos that are funny, like I think that amuses me. And the
Yeah.
whole wild countryside of it all, funny, sure. But yeah, I don't think that it was like devastating. It's more just like, oops.
Yeah. Like I think everybody would just like have maybe a little chuckle, but I didn't even think it was that
No.
funny. Like I think that it might have been, I don't know, like more believable if it had been like maybe a wind gust comes and she accidentally like, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
it's just like her skirt gets lifted up or something like that would feel more like, okay, that might be more memeable and somebody
Yeah.
like Miranda might be more embarrassed about something like that. But just
Right.
like a little one word vocal, you know, mess up was, I don't know. It was just
Also, this
weird.
is again why they should hire you. Her skirt going up would be embarrassing in front of the woman that she's trying to impress. So that would
Yes.
be too. Like, oh my God,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, so you're supposed to buy that like Liz would be bothered by this, but or at least that Miranda would think Liz was bothered
Right.
by this. And but then Liz ends up bringing all of these people over and she because Miranda's staying at Carrie's house at her apartment and Miranda is like the worst house guest ever. Like, remember that this is the same woman who got fingered outside of Carrie's room when Carrie is sick and she's bedridden.
I hate it.
Like,
By a
what?
coworker of Carrie's.
Yeah, like, yeah, her, like, basically her boss. So, I mean, Miranda is just like terrible. And she is the worst here. I
It's
mean, it's in the next episode, but she is just so like inconsiderate and rude. And there were always moments between Miranda and Carrie where you like, especially the big moment where Miranda tells her, like, I'm not going to support you when you go back to Big, like that big moment in the original. So they had conflict as friends, but I never felt like Miranda was socially unaware of her environment and that she was kind of rude to Carrie in the
I
original
mean,
show.
she's just like a bumbling, like feels like she's a rude high school or college boy.
Like, what is happening? Like, why are they writing Miranda this
I don't
way?
know what's going on.
She is an intelligent woman.
Intelligent woman has her life together. I feel like she's considerate. I don't understand this.
I cannot understand why, when they were like, we're going to have Miranda go on a queer journey, even though she had the opportunity to go on said journey in the original show.
And should have because it was so freaking perfect.
Yeah. So fine, but why on earth would you choose to what if you're going to if you would think that it's just surprising to me because you would think that they would go the other direction and have her be girl bossy and rude and like in the like bold like you
Yeah.
would think that that's what they would go, especially for Miranda, who that's part of her personality. That would have made some degree of sense. But to turn her into this, like, are they trying to show that she's supposedly is she supposed to be on the spectrum? That's how she's acting, like, without social awareness,
I
without cues,
agree
without, like,
that there's a
what?
lack of social awareness
Yeah.
that, but I mean, I don't think they are trying to do that. That would be,
I never felt that at all from Miranda
no.
in the original show. It's so weird. It's bizarre. I just don't I don't know. It's bizarre. So then we have Seema, she is basically getting fired. There's this guy Ryan who wants to hire her. But she's like, I don't know about that. She has to be out in 30 days. I mean, this Ryan guy totally seems like Seema's type.
I know.
Like, what? Why? I would think that she would be kind of into him.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
So, yeah, right?
That should be kind of a fun plot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they could have some like flirty fun with, and this show desperately needs that. Like the last thing this show needs is Lisa with the male editor, and for her to have like, what are we gonna have, like Lisa with a Me Too plot line? Are you kidding me right now?
Right, a cheating Me Too plot line.
Yeah.
She's his boss. Although
It's like on TikTok, it's just like we don't need Lisa to be all cheating on George Washington. Like what?
We don't need that. Our man from Hamilton.
Yes.
No, here's the thing. I will say, I just have to say though, holy crap, is Marion hot. Like, he is a hot man.
Sure, but no chemistry, no sizzle.
No.
At all.
He's just so hot. He's so hot. Like,
yeah.
I rarely kind of feel that, especially like very masculine men, they don't usually turn my head. But there's something he has a very like gentle way about him too. I'm very into that character. He's very charismatic.
Yeah, it's just not this plot.
No.
So yeah, I've seen if they okay, Mechad Brooks is the actor's name. Let's see here. Yeah, busy working actor. Bunch of shows, Law and Order. Holy cow. He was on Law and Order 57 episodes.
Wait a minute. Yes, he was an attorney. That's why I know him, and probably again why I love him.
Okay. Yeah. 92 episodes of Supergirl.
Okay.
So this is a major plot. So way to go. I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks over at BetterHelp. It's summer, things are super busy, and it can be easy to forget about our health. And one aspect of our health is our mental health. And I know in my late 20s, I particularly went through a tough time where I really did need the help of a therapist. And that's something that you get with BetterHelp. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. It's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. So get the help that you need. Visit betterhelp.com/hallmarkies to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/hallmarkies. I just hate this. This is a terrible plot. It's horrible. I mean, nobody buys that they've been working on this documentary, this like PBS special at best documentary for 8 years. And now there's going to be, you can tell where this plot is going. It's not interesting. It's stupid. I hate it. And it's not fun. Like, is there a single plot in the show right now that would be classified as fun? Definitely not Aiden and Carrie. Definitely not whatever's going on with Miranda. Charlotte, I have words to say about that.
Definitely not fun. The Gardner's cute and fun. I like him. And his brother or cousin?
Well, I'm really confused about the Gardner because remember we talked about last time because that is he being set up as a relationship for Seema or as a relationship for Carrie? And I'm still confused. Because we see Seema a little bit flirty with the Gardner, which does not feel real to her character at all. Because I would believe that she would be flirty with the Gardner if they met, like, say, at a party or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that would make sense. And then be like, oh, I'm surprised you're the Gardner.
Right.
But, like, for her to be flirting when he's, like, literally in his Gardner, like, scrubs and everything, and does not feel like Seema at all. Like, need some degree of character consistency.
It's like they don't have characters to be consistent too.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But then there was, like, I also thought some flirting between him and Carrie, and it's like, where are they going with this? But I agree. I guess, like, that's like a little bit fun. And
I'm into the British guy.
But it's not much. It's not much. And so let's talk about Charlotte for a second, because so we have this whole thing with their neighbor, the building, a lot of drama in the building that could be slightly fun. There's the neighbor that's always asking for bananas. And Harry's like, why can't they get their own bananas? And like Rock is trying to be like, come on, let's work with the community here, So
Yeah, I was like,
they are
Rock is somewhat likable.
Yes, they are. So then we get Lily dropping that her boyfriend is Polly, which I just feel like, I mean, people can live your life, that's fine. But I do not buy for 1 second that Charlotte, of all people, and Harry would just be like, no response, like nothing to that. They wouldn't be a little bit concerned that their teenage daughter is at best starting a very grown-up, nuanced relationship where she is going to probably have very need some guidance. It's I feel like, so they got pushback on some of the things in the original show. So like their response to that is be like, no conflict. No, we're not even gonna we're gonna pretend our characters are perfect. They have the perfect response to everything. They never do anything that would be somewhat viewed in any kind of social justice, idea. Right. Like you're not a woke person if you're like concerned that my daughter is starting a very grown-up relationship, and are you prepared for this? Yes. And I mean, come on.
I completely agree. Like I know people who are in open relationships or who are poly. And the thing about that is you have to like put so much more care and intention, and the communication, as you're saying, Rachel, it is very adult. There's a lot of emotional maturity that you need for that. And I actually don't think that Lily would unpack it if this was real, if this was true. I don't think that Lily would unpack it that way to her family. I think she'd be like, oh, he sees other people too. She's not gonna be like, he's Polly. You know what I mean? It feels like they're just
it doesn't feel real, because I think that she would be slightly nervous about how are my parents going to react to this. That's why it doesn't feel authentic. She would be like, a little bit nervous, and not, it's just like part of conversation, which not only does it feel inauthentic, but it also robs of any comedy, of any fun, of okay, this could be awkward. And people criticize a lot of the classic sitcoms of the 90s for outdated elements, and I'm not saying that's not an important conversation. Totally. It's fine, but a lot of those setups were designed to make you laugh. Like when Frasier is a jerk and he's he's not a good date, he's not a good it's not like this is a guidebook for how to treat people. It's to make you laugh. It's funny because human beings are flawed and they do stupid stuff, and that's what makes it funny. If it's not like it's not like the Bible. You're not supposed to be taking your life guidance from and just like that. It's supposed to be funny. They're supposed to make you laugh.
Funny.
What is wrong with these people? It's just to not have the slightest response, not even from Harry. Come on.
Also, it's you can be worried about your daughter. You'd be worried about your daughter having an older boyfriend anyway. I mean, I know he's not that much older, but
I think you can be worried about your daughter having a boyfriend. Period. Let alone just being like completely open and dropping, oh, that he's Polly in the middle of conversation with company there, that there was so much comedic potential to be mined from this situation. Like even just like a little thing. Let's say it drops that she drops that he's Polly. You could have Charlotte like maybe drop a thing of soup that she's carrying.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like that's a funny little bit.
That's
like
funny. That's funny.
There's nothing inappropriate or hateful about that. It's just a human being responding to something that's new and different.
No, exactly. It's not hateful at all. And I think that it's also just like they're not allowed to be parents and like talk about this with her. And I mean the whole thing. It just feels like so much.
Yeah. It's just funny. Like if you think about in Juno, when she tells her parents she's pregnant and they do not have like the perfect response, right? They and the dad says, I didn't think you were that kind of girl, which is like a problematic statement, right?
Absolutely.
Right? But she says, I don't know what kind of girl I am, which is both like super endearing, but it's also like authentic, and it makes you endeared to both characters because it's like an authentic moment, and it's also sweet and funny, and like it's bizarre. And we've said this from the beginning that like I genuinely think, and what do I know? I'm not a writer, but I just believe that if you and I were brainstorming for, if they gave us like a weekend, and we're like, here, we're going to send you off to Virginia. You're going to brainstorm. I genuinely believe that you and I could come up with better plots. Like, I feel like in just our chatting, we've come up with better plots. Like, I literally just did the soup. Like, that's better.
The soup is great. Can you imagine Charlotte, the comedic timing of that? That's great.
Yeah.
It's not, like you said, they're trying to seem like everything is okay. They're accepting of everything. And you can be while still challenging and being like, okay, well, is that going to be okay for you? Do you really want this? Because both people really have to want to be, or everyone involved in a polyamorous relationship have to want that also. And I don't think she does. She's obsessed with him, which is another thing that I would be concerned about.
Yes.
That's not healthy.
No, it's bizarre, ridiculous. But anyway, so Liz brings the friends over, and Miranda finally confronts her and says like that sorry you couldn't be attracted to somebody who said that on national TV. And Liz says that she is attracted, but like more attracted. And again, this is like, I was expecting these two to have chemistry. I really was. And this kiss was absolutely terrible. Like, what is happening? It was sloppy. It was weird. Like, it was like, is this part of the joke?
No, it
like,
wasn't.
What?
And I thought their chemistry prior to kissing in the last episode, when we talked about that, I thought it was so hot. I thought they had such great chemistry. And then the kiss killed it.
Like, why would they do that?
I don't know what's happening.
Like, what is the point? Like, why are they continuing to embarrass Miranda? Like, Miranda knows how to kiss. Are you kidding me? This is Sex in the City.
I hope so.
What? She's a housefrau who can't kiss? Like, what is happening?
It's like you're a virgin who can't drive.
Yeah.
You're a housefrau who can't kiss.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh. Also, that now I realize how funny that quote makes me laugh. You're a virgin who can't drive, because I can't drive and you're a virgin. So it's funny.
Right.
We're
thing. Yeah. So Carrie playing apples to apples with the family. Wyatt gets upset.
Bob sat it out
because nobody ever picks him, which Oh my gosh. Come on. There's not a teenager in the world who cares about stuff like that.
It's apples to apples. They don't know what's yours.
Nobody cares about me. But then he breaks the glass. Like, what? I was like, is this turning into this is a Lifetime movie? That's what it is.
100%.
They took a Lifetime script and made 100%. It into this episode.
They sure did.
The wrong stepson. That's what this is called. They took the wrong stepson script.
The wrong stepson.
They took the wrong stepson script and then they just retooled it and to an episode of Just Like That.
Yes.
No one will convince me otherwise.
100%. 100%. Unhinged.
I hate it so much.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hearty, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So then we have the next episode, Under the Table. And this is, we don't have a plot, but Under the Table. So this is also really confusing because, so we've introduced the gardener and then we have this whole plot line with this Duncan Reeves guy in this episode. And so you would think that he is being set up as like a major love interest because you've got this enemies to lovers. He doesn't like the fact that that wears shoes in New York. I mean, Jax, you live in New York City. Is there a New Yorker in the world that would complain about shoes like that?
No. There's so much about this plot that confused me. But no one's going to complain about that. And also, I'm sorry. I understand that you are a heels girly. Why are you, that's terrible for your feet to wear them around your apartment like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
also
what's crazy about this plot? Nothing makes sense.
Also, like how much, like if you think about it, especially someone like her as a writer, how much you're really walking around your house.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like because if you think about it, like you might be kind of walking to get in and out of the house. You might like to go to the table, to your bed. Like, yes, you walk some, but not enough to be like, this is worthy of a neighbor dispute.
No way. Here's the craziest thing is I feel like what makes so much more sense, of course, is the noise outside his window from the gardening. And I can understand saying like, which is not even that loud, but being like, oh, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Yeah. But like, if you are that sensitive to noise, and he could literally do his writing anywhere. Why are you going to New York City? Literally the loudest place in the world.
Loudest place in the world. You're not going to like a writer's retreat in Montana.
Yeah. Like I mean, that's why that Quiet Place movie was so stupid. This last one. It's like, are you kidding me right now? So the aliens are in New York City, the loudest place in the world. Like, and they're going to be like triggered by like a small movement by a human. I'm just like, just the rats alone.
Rats alone. Yes. I'm sorry. This plot line was insane. Like, also to see a brown noise, white noise, headphones, anything.
Also, like, it's very strange to be bringing this new character in for episode 5 of this season when well, the only buildup so far has been with Aiden. Like it's clear to me that Aiden's going to see this as some kind of threat, and then either what's going to happen with that relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just felt like if there was no Aiden, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of like a fun rom-com banter, like they're enemies to lovers, like whatever. But as it is, it's just like things are getting a little crowded right now.
Things are getting a little crowded. We've got the gardener. We've got the writer downstairs. I mean, this woman's living in a mansion, and why does she have all that? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's also what's funny is I saw like an interview or Sarah Jessica Parker saying, when a man is like a serial killer and he's evil, we're like, yay, in a TV show, but a woman, has an affair, behaves badly, and we're like, no. I understand all of that. Yes, there is still blatant sexism in the world and a lot of it. But what I will say is Carrie being insufferable is not evil or delicious in this. It's like her not wanting to take off her heels, but then telling her friends to tiptoe around.
Yeah. The thing that I think could have made this funny. So you have Miranda who like loves this author. Like
Yeah.
and Miranda has always loved writers. She's a
So
Jane Austen fan. We know that. So what would have been funny is that you have Miranda getting attracted to this guy. They're having enemies to lovers thing because we know that Miranda is bi. So why not bring that in? So things are maybe escalating a little bit with Liz. But then, oh my gosh, this is unexpected. I'm now feeling attracted to this man. What do I do with that? Is that changing my identity? Is that like, that's funny. That's interesting. That like makes sense with the character.
And you know what's fun with that too, Rachel? She could, I mean, she could have a romance with him. That'd be great. But they could like go to kiss and something could happen and she could be like, oh no, I'm just a fangirl. I realize this. Like in this moment, I'm attracted
I mean, she sucks at kissing. So maybe that's out of.
Right. So he's.
That.
Miranda likes to be with anyone.
That's the question. I don't know.
What is even happening?
I mean, just like that would have potential. Whereas this with Carrie, it's just kind of like, what? I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. But then we find out that Harry has prostate cancer.
Which makes sense, him peeing his pants.
Yes.
Thank God that's something that connected.
And he is right. My dad has actually had prostate cancer treated. He's fine. It is a very treatable cancer, which doesn't mean it's not of concern, but a large percentage of men, if they live long enough, will get prostate cancer. It's very treatable.
I have a question for you. Do you think it was fair of Harry to ask Charlotte not to tell anybody?
I would think that you would at least want to be the one to tell your children, at least.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'd say wait to tell everybody so that they don't hear it from, but I wouldn't, again, like there's no reason to keep it a secret. It's because it's not a traumatic event. Like no need to add trauma to it.
No need. Absolutely. You can take the air out of it because I also love that when this is going back a little bit, but when they were at breakfast or lunch or whatever, and Carrie was talking about the guy complaining about her heels, and Miranda was complaining about the music. Carrie goes, "What does it have to do with me?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what an unhinged response! A friend talking to you. What does that have to do?" Can you imagine us saying that to each other? What?
Well, but I mean, the only way it made sense was that Miranda was being insane. Like she's walking around, like you would never in a friend's apartment, you would never be completely naked. Like I don't care. No. Like if you are the most, there's just nobody who would do that. Like
nobody.
It really, I was just like, what else could they possibly do to this character?
She's like, I sleep naked. You don't have a robe?
Yeah, it's just not sensible. It's not reasonable. There's no way, I don't care how good of friends you are, that you would do that. And so it just was like, do they think this is funny? Are they
Yes.
like intentionally mocking Cynthia Nixon for her body? Because it wasn't like it was like, oh, this is sexy. This is a sexy moment. No, it was a like I just it baffles me.
It upset me too because look, I think Cynthia Nixon has a great body, but the way she was like lumbering in and like it was like she was trying to do it like it was a sight gag.
Yeah.
And that upset me too.
Yeah, there's no world where you would do that. So we have them going glamping, Lisa and the husband. Lisa gets all upset because the husband didn't bring chocolate. This is glamping. I'm sure they have s'mores kits. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah, like
Lisa, this plot is the worst. I hate it.
it's so boring. The only sweet part that I will say is when Lisa and Charlotte are in the pool talking and Lisa just puts her hand on Charlotte's back. I was like, this is the sisterhood I'd like to see in the show.
Yeah. 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 It was decent. Um, so then we have like this back and forth. Carrie gives Miranda her scarf, and then Miranda uses the scarf to clean up the soda, and things just get more and more conflicted.
Also, why is
And
the kitchen so small? She lives in a huge mansion.
yeah, that's true. It's bizarre.
And she
But
only has one table that Miranda can use. What's going on?
yeah.
Why can't Miranda work elsewhere? What is happening?
Yeah, and then we have this scene with Seema flirting with the gardener. They're both smoking, and Lisa says that she has a crush on her editor, which like what? They barely spent any time together. I mean, I would think that instead of crush, I would have probably said, I think my editor's a little hot.
Yeah.
That would have been funnier.
Yeah.
Um,
Crush kind of gives it, even though it's like a light word, it gives weight to it. And
yeah. And so Duncan ends up burning his food, and he's like, "Oh, I don't do anything fun in New York." Like, what?
I come here to write. And if
Yeah, like why didn't he go to like Long Island or
you don't
anywhere
come,
else but New York City? Like,
you
what?
don't come to one of the most expensive cities in the world to not partake in any of the stuff.
You don't go to New York City for like a weekend retreat to be, like it's not a nature solitude. Like,
Right. I don't understand at
it's
all.
bizarre. It's bizarre. Usually he writes a book in 6 months, and these are supposed to be nonfiction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess he's like the Bill O'Reilly of And Just Like That, evidently. Just like pumping out all these
Pumping them
nonfiction
out.
books. Yeah,
That's
evidently.
pumping them out.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
He's writing his next book on Margaret Thatcher. So I'm like, okay.
A departure from what he's usually working
I
on.
guess, yeah. His first time he's ever written about a woman.
Like, okay.
Okay. Will people accept a woman from me? I mean, Margaret Thatcher. It's not like he's writing a book about like Pamela Anderson or whatever.
Right.
All hail to Pamela. I'm just saying, like somebody that like a Baywatch babe or something like that.
You're going to be
Margaret
okay.
Thatcher. Oh, nobody will respect that.
Like, I think you're going to be okay.
She was only a major world leader for a decade.
No big.
You can't write a book about her.
Yeah, I can't write a book about her. This is
No one will believe that.
absolute insanity.
And Duncan gives Carrie slippers, and Carrie's like, ugh, he gave me grandma slippers, mom slippers, or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. That felt like a certain degree of compromise to me.
I thought he was just being cute. Like, I got you some.
I mean,
it's
so weird. Like I said, if I felt like they were building to this like rom-com elements, then I would be more forgiving. But I feel like it's just sort of wasting time.
her feet must be so gnarled from always being in her heels all around her apartment. No.
Evidently. And she's just walking all over her apartment all the time.
You can tell that Sarah Jessica Parker had fun filming those scenes because she's like,
yeah. But then she finally takes off her shoes at the end. So you know.
A woman's right to shoot.
It was terrible. I hated it so much. I hate everything with Lisa. I hate that plot. Seema. I mean, I guess at least that character they are allowing to do some like fun Sex and the City
Totally.
stuff.
And I think what's funny is we heard a woman's right to shoes in Sex and the City when she left her shoes by the door in the apartment, they got stolen, that whole thing. That wasn't Carrie being entitled. That was just like made sense. And this is like Carrie seems entitled and just bizarre.
You know what was actually the best moment in either of these episodes and the most classic Sex in the City moment was Liz and her dogs. That is Sex in the City.
That was hilarious.
They're needy dogs. They always want to be with her. They're
classic Sex in the City.
And yeah, outside, so they can't get it on, even though it's terrible kissing. That's funny. That is comedy. It's awkward. It's humor. It's sexy. It's flirty. It's all the things that the original show used to be. You could totally picture that being a plot element in the original series. Like, say Steve had 2 annoying dogs, like that would have been funny and we would have laughed. And why don't they realize that? Like, I don't understand.
Well, they do. And this is a parody and they're trolling us.
Parody.
That's the only answer that makes any sense in this world.
Well, there we go. That is these episodes. So let us know what you think of these episodes. What was your favorite part? Did you like the prairie dresses? Were you a fan? We want to hear in the comments, and check out our playlist with all of our and just like that Sex and the City, Sarah Jessica Parker content over the years. And thanks so much, Jackson. And how can people follow you?
Jacqueline Collier on Instagram.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes, where I have put in my rotten score for and just like that
certified fresh.
I've done my duty. But definitely check all that out, and make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, and City Girls Pod. Been sharing a lot of stuff over there on Twitter, so definitely check that out. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. Really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything that we're doing, and you get to be part of patron events each month, and you get to be part of our Facebook group. I really try to make it worth the investment to be part of the Patreon. Please check that out. And then we have our merch store. We have City Girls Pod merch. Check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.